Starting with our continued focus on Bangalore's demolition drive. Today, the IT capital's civic body mowed down terror attack hero, NSG commando and martyr Niranjan Kumar's house. He laid down his life for the country despite several pleas from his family members. His house, which was built a few years ago, was not spared. Magic Mix now has been covering the alleged civic apathy from day one. Middle-class families who've been left without a roof over their head are asking why they're being targeted. Now, remember, the BBMP is not handing out notices. They're not informing these people. They're not giving them enough time to react. They're not giving them enough time to approach the courts. All they're doing is putting in a little marker with a red pen. So citizens are actually having to wake up every morning and come out and look to make sure that their homes have not been marked, meaning their homes will not be knocked down. In the meantime, several encroaching malls and influential builders are being spared.
Even as the state government has announced a compensation for Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan's family, thousands of other families across Bengaluru whose houses have been completely turned into rubble, like the one that you see right behind me, want to know why they are being singled out and victimized, while the officers who for years together collected their property tax, allowed these structures to come up in the first place, are allowed to go scot-free. They demand answers from the government, which has undertaken such a hasty demolition spree across the city, as to who those people are who allowed these structures to come up in the first place and why they are not being made accountable and brought to book.
Well, we caught up with the martyr Niranjan Kumar's family, and they are in a state of shock. After losing their son, they're now fighting for their home. Listen in.
We haven't got any response till now. And we haven't got in touch with any of the officials yet now, nor they have actually approached us. Being a martyr's home, it is actually their responsibilities to approach us before they breaking us down. So we haven't got any notice about this, and recently 2 days back they have actually put this markings, and that's what we have got the information.
What is your appeal to them? Because I spoke to your mother earlier and she's asking for some time so that you can make alternate arrangements at least. So what's your appeal now?
It's the same thing as my mom told. We are just requesting them to give us some time so that we actually one pillar would come under this Raj Kalve. So we are requesting them to give us some time so that we can build a new pillar near to that and then demolish the existing pillar. But we are not getting in touch with them. That is the only issue we are finding now. And being Niranjan's brother, I know what he has done for the country. He has sacrificed his life for the country. Being a national hero, it's a shame actually if the officials are actually trying to demolish our site. Being a national hero, they have to consider this, and they have to move forward. He has given his life for the country. One pillar would not do them anything bad, so they should consider this.
Joining me now is the mother of late Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan. Ma'am, ಯಾವಾಗ BBMP ಅವರು ಬಂದ್ರು ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು, ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನದ್ದು?
ನನಗೂ 6 ಮಂತ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಹೇಳಿರೋದು ಈ ಥರ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗೋಡೆ ಇತ್ತು, ಅದು ಗೋಡೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಏನು ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೆ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರೋದು.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನು
ಬಂದಾಗ ಈ ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದೂರ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 16 ಅಡಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರೋದು.
ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ತೆಗೆದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್?
ನಮಗೂ ಇವಾಗ ರೂಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಶೇಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದೇ ಥರ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Well, we spoke with the man who's spearheading the entire demolition drive that's left several people in Bangalore homeless. Mr. Manjunath Prasad is the BBMP commissioner. Mr. Prasad, my first question to you is the agenda at this point. How much longer is this demolition drive going to continue for? How many more homes are within your sites?
Yeah, see, we have got a survey done by the Revenue Department, the Department of Land Records and Survey, and they have identified almost 1,100 structures or this one encroachments that needs to be removed. So out of 1,100, what we have removed so far is only about 100. So the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka has given us about 4 months' time to clear all those encroachments. So this will go on till all the 1,100 encroachments are removed. And Further, the survey work also will go simultaneously, and if there are any areas that are left out, that areas also will be taken up for encroachment removal.
Well, the latest on the list is, of course, the Martyrs' House that we were just talking about at this point. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar has said he will reach out to the BBMP and save that house. What's your response to that?
Which one? Yeah. There's one structure which is, partially it is on the stormwater drain. So that we have, if I've told my Joint Commissioner, if it is on the drain, then whatever portion it is there, that has to be removed. But at the same time, government always can make a distinction in providing a compensation for this one martyrs, and that the government will look into it.
Well, we also understand that 20 corrupt officials have been identified, suspended. 13 of them are in the BBMP. 7 of them are retired. I want to know what action the BBMP is taking against them, because if the action against the citizens is going to be this harsh and completely unrepenting, what action are you taking against your own officers, Mr. Manjunath Prasad?
See, even if retired officials, we have filed criminal cases against all the 20 serving as well as the retired. And serving officers have been suspended from duty, and detailed inquiry has been ordered. At the same time, on them also criminal cases have been filed. So, depending upon the inquiry report, then we'll see, what further action that can be taken against them.
Well, of course, the big question really is, how do people find out whether their homes are legal or not? The BBMP is not putting out a map right now. They're not giving us any information. As citizens, how do we know better?
Any citizen who wants to purchase a house or a site or any property, there are a specified set of documents that one needs to see. And in that, most important document is the revenue sketch from the Land and Survey Department. And these sketches are available in the government departments for small token of this one price. It's about 8 rupees they charge for each map. So that being the case, they have to verify this and purchase properties, and it is all there. What has happened is some people have connived and they have manipulated these maps, and the corrupt officials along with the builders have joined hands, and these illegal things have been done.
Appalling statements that are coming in from Mr. Manjunath Prasad, the Commissioner of the BBMP, and this is our debate this evening, and I'm going to go straight into the debate, because while the home of the martyr has brought national attention to this entire problem, there are several residents who have been struggling, citizens of Bangalore who are struggling for justice, who are coming home every day to find their homes, like you can see on your screen right now, reduced to rubble. The BBMP is saying that you can walk into any BBMP office and access a copy of the revenue sketch that will tell you whether or not your house is legal. Remember, it doesn't matter if you've been paying property tax. It doesn't matter if you've got all of your paperwork, you've got your kata, you've got everything in place. That does not make your house legal. On the 8 p.m. debate tonight, on the Urban Debate, we're asking a very simple question, and the simple question is this: is your house next in Bangalore? How do you tell if your house is legal? Why should citizens pay the price for corruption in this city, in the civic body? Is your house next? Joining me on the show this evening, Brajesh Kalapa, Congress spokesperson. Dr. H.C. Sharat Chandra is an environmentalist, and he's the ex-chairperson of the Karnataka State Pollution Board. Dr. T.V. Ramachandra, Center of Ecological Sciences at the Indian Institute of Science. Dr. Vamana Acharya is the former chairperson of the Karnataka State Pollution Board. He also represents the BJP on this panel. YP Singh is a former IPS officer and a consumer rights lawyer. And Sridhar Pabishetty is the CEO of Namma Bangalore Foundation. We'll also have a member of Niranjan's family join us through the course of the show. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Dr. Sharat Chandra, I want to start with you, and I'm simply focusing on this. We've received countless emails and tweets and phone calls from citizens of Bangalore who are now afraid. These are people who are going out every day checking the markings on their home to make sure that the BBMP hasn't put a little, red marking on their house saying it's illegal. So if the commissioner, as he has just told us, that you can just casually walk into the revenue officer's office and for 8 rupees access a copy of the map, is that true? Is it actually that easy to get a copy of the map to find out if my house is legal or not?
I think there is one question which need to come up. It was so easy, and especially if the BBMP has given new PID numbers for all the houses using GPS, and if they had these revenue maps, why couldn't they mark it that these are on Raj Kaluways?
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, I don't think it's easy to get these maps. In fact, if it is so easy to get and BBMP owns all these maps, and they have a website, and what prevents them to put it on the website, especially considering the problem the citizens are facing, is second question which they need to answer.
What prevents them from putting it on the website? That's a very, very good question. If Dr. T.V. Ramchandra, you're with me. I want to go back to the research paper that you did not long ago, where you said Bangalore has about 5 or 10 years of livability left in it. That you said 79% of our water bodies have disappeared, and there are massive constructions that have come up in their place, including, from what I understand, Majestic Bus Stand, which is on what used to be a water tank. The Games Village, which is on what used to be a water tank. If that's the case, why is the BBMP targeting middle-class homeowners when they should be looking at far greater problems? Are the homes that we're looking at that have been demolished at this point, is this the solution? Having demolished these 100, 200 homes, so far 100 homes have been demolished, will we ensure that Bangalore won't flood the next time it rains?
Well, we have looked at this flooding happening in the Bangalore. We have looked at the causal factors also. We also have identified the locations where there are bottlenecks are there. If you want to mitigate the floods in the city and the consequent damages to the public, I think that we need to remove these bottlenecks at any cost. So how it is done, it is the government job. So as a researcher, I would say that we need to make sure the water flows from one region to the other through the stormwater drain without any hindrances. And there are some locations we have seen that people have deliberately have encroached. In fact, we have studied 107 lakes in Bangalore. We found that 98% of the lakes have been encroached. Even Raj Kaluways have been encroached. As I said earlier, of 850 kilometers stormwater drain, around 380 kilometers is encroached. I am sure that most of the people who have encroached have done it deliberately, and I think they have to pay for it.
No, but Dr. Ramchandra, I agree with you completely, and we do know, of course, that there was a committee that was put together, which was the KB Koliwad committee, that actually estimated a total cost of 150 lakh crore rupees worth of encroachments that have happened. Why is it that the smallest home buyers are the ones being targeted first? Aren't they bigger fish to fry here for the BBMP? If the BBMP truly wanted to remove all encroachments, is this where they should have started with, without notice, to small middle class homeowners?
Well, I don't know the way they are doing it, but I would say that we need to remove these bottlenecks at any cost. But I think the way the strategy would be that, see, the moment they touch the small people, the hue and cry will be so much so that these big fellows can escape from the system. Probably that's why this strategy is adopted. But I just spoke to the commissioner. He came to my office a few minutes back.
Yes.
He told me that we have listed the thing and we are going to remove all encroachments, whether it's a small or big.
Whether it's small or big, we're going to remove all encroachments. I'm not entirely convinced. I want to bring in Brijesh Kalapa. Brijesh Kalapa, this is the question here. Again, people complaining that their homes are being demolished without notice, first of all, from the BBMP. In this day and age, the map is still not made public. Forget about putting it online. It hasn't even been posted on a notice board that people can go and look at. They're actually terrified. Citizens of Bangalore are worried about whether or not their compound wall or their home is going to be next. I will actually play these voices out for you. We have some voices who've spoken to us over the last couple of days on how scary it is to be a homeowner in Bangalore, because there's no way to tell whether or not their homes are illegal. We'll ask our producers to just pull that up. And my question to you is simply this. Is Is this the best way for the government to solve that problem? Or like Dr. Ramchandra was telling us, are you going after the small guys to give the big guys an opportunity to flee? Let's play out those bites first. I want you to listen to them and then I want you to respond.
In what can be seen only as a knee-jerk reaction to the floods that took place in Bengaluru last week, the government has undertaken a hasty and unscientific demolition spree across the city. While they're saying that this is for the public good and it is to make sure that the citizens get to benefit at the end of the day, to make sure that there isn't a Chennai-like situation, citizens here are clearly angry because they want answers as to how these structures were allowed to come up in the first place if it was indeed illegal. Joining me now is a man who's lost over 3/4 of his house. His name is Prakash. He lives very close to Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan's house and he has with him a map that he has attained from BBMP itself. Let's hear more from him. Sir, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಕತೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಇವಾಗ?
ಮೇಡಮ್, ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಈಕ್ವಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಇವರು. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈಗೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟರ್ ಪಿಳ್ಳಪ್ಪ ಅವ್ರು ಇರೋದು, ಅವ್ರೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಮುಕ್ಕಾಲು ಭಾಗ ಮನೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದೆ ಮನೆ?
ಮೇಡಮ್ 40 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮನೆ.
ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಜಕಾಲುವೆ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್. ರಾಜಕಾಲುವೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಹರಿತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಎರಡು ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಇವರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡೋರು ಮೊದಲೇ ಯಾಕೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಸ್ಕೊಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಟರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಸ್ಕೊಬೇಕು ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಥರ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಮೇಡಮ್ ನಮಗೆ? ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇವರೇ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, BBMP ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಇದ್ ಕಡೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಹತ್ ಕಡೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಇವ್ರೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ಮುಕ್ಕಾಲು ಭಾಗ ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರಣ ಪಿಳ್ಳಪ್ಪ ಅವರೇ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪಿಳ್ಳಪ್ಪ ಅವರೇ ಕಾರಣ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ತರ ತುಂಬಾ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
There you heard it. Let's hear from another citizen here. Sir, you were talking about how everything is being done in an unfair and an unscientific manner. You have...
I am only a bystander here, but I have come here to observe the atrocities that is being committed by the government. In fact, if we can go by the opinion of the Advocate General, former Advocate General, B.V. Acharya, he has clearly said that these operations can be questioned in a court of law and under the Constitution. That's what he has said, and it has widely been given publicity in the today's newspaper. I only hope that the elite lawyers of the city, they do file a public interest of litigation and come to the help of the poor people who have been affected in this exercise. And moreover, I don't call it as illegal constructions for the simple reason that Khata has been issued, they have been collecting property tax, and they have been enjoying those funds collected by the citizens of the country.
Well, there you have it, Brijesh Kalappa. Those are citizens, those are questions being asked by citizens. The maps are not being followed. They feel like the BBMP is lying to them. There is corruption, and we just heard Dr. Ramchandra also tell us that you're going after the small ones, the small people, the helpless people, to give the bigger ones an opportunity to flee, give the bigger ones the opportunity to approach the High Court, to give them an opportunity to perhaps grease more palms and get away with it. Explain to the citizens of Bangalore what's going on.
First of all, Faye, I don't know how Mr. Ramchandra has this point of view. The first part is that there is a specific area which has been flooded and there are no malls around that side. I don't know if there are any malls around that side.
But Dr. Ramchandra is an expert on this, particular topic.
Something which ought to be broken.
Brijesh Kalappa, Dr. Ramchandra is an expert on this particular topic. Okay.
Please,
I'm just letting you know,
don't try to take the subject away from what I'm speaking.
Okay.
Please don't intervene where I'm speaking.
Okay,
there is a chain of thought. There is a chain of thought which I'd like to follow. If you like to, see, first is that there is no reason to believe that the bigger fish are going to escape. It is the intention of the government that everybody should be acted against, and everybody will undoubtedly be acted against. One, two, that why have we actually taken a drive here in this specific area? Because these areas have been flooded. It is because because if you are going to be speaking of an Orion Mall is about 40 kilometers away from where the demolitions are taking place. If you are speaking of a Mantri Mall, that is another 20 kilometers away or 30 kilometers away from where the demolitions are taking place. So if you want demolitions to take place across the city, then of course they may happen. But right now, what are we concerned about? We are concerned about those areas which have been flooded, and those areas specifically have to be cleared of those encroachments which caused the flooding. This is the sole purpose for which we are doing these demolitions. It doesn't give us any joy to demolish. It doesn't give us any joy to bring tears in citizens' eyes. It is something we are constrained to do. It is the net result of many years of governance, misgovernance, that we are now in a position where we have to actually step out and do what we are doing. So this is not something which gives us any kind of joy. So this is the first thing I'd like to tell you. The second thing is that it is our intention that the big fish, the small fish, everybody is caught. We don't want to let anybody go scot-free. It is the intention of the government that the biggest ones, including chief engineers, they've all been acted against. FIRs have been lodged against them. Where was, if we didn't have our bona fides clear, where was the need to act against them? We have acted against some extremely senior officers, people who have spent 20, 30 years in service. So where is the need for us to act against them if our intention was never to do so? So the point is this, that we don't want the citizens of Bangalore to be inconvenienced. Of course, questions will be raised against us. It is because we are at the receiving end. The government is always at the receiving end. There is a BJP spokesperson today, and I must point out that the MP of this area is a BJP man, the MLA is a BJP man, the councillor is a BJP man. Now they are going to be speaking against us. So this is the point of being on the receiving end. They are the people who allowed these irregularities, these encroachments to happen, and that very political party will now raise questions at us. So this is the point I'm trying to make, that look, everybody is going to raise a point, but the real issue is that we have to clear these encroachments, otherwise flooding will happen yet again, and our immediate purpose is to see that flooding does not happen.
Okay. All right. I've let you complete what you had to say, Brijesh Kalapa. You can't accuse me now of interrupting you. Now let me go back to Dr. Ramchandra. Dr. Ramchandra, Brijesh Kalapa questioning where you're getting your information from. And I want our audience to know that Dr. Ramchandra of the Indian Institute of Science has done extensive research on the situation of livability, the quality of life in Bangalore, the quality of the water bodies, the lack of the water bodies, the encroachments, to a point where he's received threats from developers who found him coming in the way of the money that they were making. Dr. Ramchandra, the fact that Brijesh Kalapa believes that this is the demolition that needed to be done, that he doesn't understand where you've got your idea of big fish from. Do you want to defend your idea of big fish?
Yeah, well, I don't sit in a AC room. I go to the field. If I am speaking to you, if I am speaking to the citizens of the country, that is based on my field experience. In fact, I was with the commissioner yesterday also in one of the discussion. Commissioner told us how these big fellows are escaping from the system.
Tell us how the big fellows are escaping from the system.
I'll bring it out. And also I urge you not to put me between the politicians. I don't want to get trapped in the thing. I am basically a researcher. I believe in the solution. I believe in we have to address the flooding problem. And there are anomalies, we need to remove that. Coming back to these big fellows, see, we noticed in one of the places there is a sanction plan versus what has been implemented on the ground by one of the apartment fellows. We saw the large deviation, and commissioner went there with a thing to demolish. Then the people resisted that. Then they pleaded with the commissioner for a 3 days time. You know, this happened on the Friday evening. Then in 2 days they go to the court and they get they stay. So this is the power of the big people. Whereas the small people, they didn't have this kind of power. See, these are the anomalies in the system, and I think the politicians should understand that they are elected to serve the society, not to boss over us. And I'm very unhappy with the status of Bangalore and Karnataka because we have the distinction of having the highest corruption in the country itself.
The distinction of the highest corruption in the country. And I want to bring Dr. Vaman Acharya. Dr. Vaman Acharya, you heard Brijesh Kalapa say that it was the BJP that caused the problems, and now you're going to turn around and point fingers. Isn't it time for politicians to put aside party differences and actually focus on the problem at hand here, which is the average citizen who's struggling?
Yeah, the question is not which politician has done. The question is who is suffering. See, what has happened is basically this all started where a drain leading to Kodi Chikkanahalli was broken and water came into BTM layout. Now it is only in one area that this has happened. All of a sudden, BBMP, Government of Karnataka wakes up and start demolishing haphazard. Some in Yelahanka area, some in Mahadevapura area, some in Bommasandra area. All this, all of a sudden they have started demolishing in different areas piecemeal. What was needed is, government could have published a beautiful map. These are the drains. These Raja Kalve in Kannada means in English that they are rainwater big drains. These drains are going to lakes. There are about 86 live lakes in Bangalore even today. There were more than 126. Many of them have disappeared. As you have rightly said, the bus stand, Majestic bus stand, the Asian Game Village and all that. But still, many of the lakes are still live. Water is flowing into them. And if these maps are declared that these are the areas with a width of around 30-35 feet, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, all these will be demolished. Then they should have a very clear map indicating which areas are going to be demolished. Strange way of giving notice is they take a red pen and make an arrow mark and just write 30 feet. You know, the whole house itself is 30 feet. In this whole rampage that the government is doing and BBMP is doing, it is the people of small sites, 30 by 40 feet or 40 by 60 feet. In some areas it is only 20 by 30 feet. They have built a house and it is being demolished. I agree that there is a problem of water flooding and the road, that area, that Raja Kalves or stormwater drains have to be widened. But that has to be done in a democratic and a systematic legal way. You are behaving like a terrorist. How can people sustain this? This is my question. I am not saying any politics in this. Second thing is, all the three areas where demolitions today are happening, whether it is Dodda Bommasandra or in Yelahanka area or in Arkere area, all these are where BJP MLAs have been elected. I don't want to say anything more than this.
Brajesh Kalapa, that's a very clear accusation. I want to understand simply this. Why isn't there a clear map for people to follow? If citizens are worried right now, if they don't know whether or not their homes are going to be marked tomorrow, there should be a map made available. We've attempted, our reporter has attempted to go to the local revenue office and take a look at that map. There is no map available. It's not as easy as the commissioner makes it sound. Why is it being done in such a haphazard, disorganized manner? Why can't we be more organized if it's a job that the government agrees must be done?
Faye, I must tell you offhand that insofar as this exercise is concerned, this exercise is not being done by a set of dummies. It's being done by a set of experts. And those experts are guiding the BBMP. Now the BJP is of course entitled, because they are now in opposition, to say that, you know, this entire exercise is, you know, something which is being done in a very haphazard fashion. They are welcome to say that. But the BBMP has undertaken an exercise and these people who are today affected, nearly 90-95% of them had markings nearly 6 months ago to let them know that their properties were, you know, on the danger zone. And each one of these properties had been marked, and most of these property owners knew at that time that some part of their house, for instance, now this martyr you're speaking, Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan, one pillar, which is in a big house, one pillar is falling foul of this encroachment rule. Now, whether that pillar, if it's broken, will it affect the main structure? That has to be seen. Now, if it does affect the main structure, the government has stated straight away that, look, we are willing to compensate this martyr because we don't want to see. It's like I said, it's very painful exercise. It's a painful exercise because our citizens are the ones who are suffering. And during this entire exercise, if even a martyr were to suffer, then it gives us a great degree of pain. So for us, to alleviate the people's problem as well as to see that the larger good is achieved is something which is our endeavor totally. So this is the thing we are trying to do, and we hope to get some of the citizens cooperation
the thing I will disagree
and
with you
also I would request that one minute, let me one concluding remark. And the media also has to play a role in this, because when the flooding happened, the media immediately said, look, there are so many encroachments, why don't you clear them out? And today when we clear those encroachments, the media has changed the goalpost, has shifted the goalpost, and today it says that no, the destruction is haphazard. Look,
No.
we
See,
all
British
have a
Kalapa,
job to do.
since
And
you're
what
saying
is that
something
job?
about the media,
The
you have
job
to
is
let
not
me
to,
speak
you
now.
know,
You have to let me speak.
merely
We had
throw
this
stones at
conversation
everybody
2 days
else.
ago with the exact same panel. I accepted on this show repeatedly that we are not against correcting the problem. We will stand for more responsible urban development in the city of Bangalore. The problem I have with this entire thing is the manner in which it is being done. Dr. Sharat Chandra, the manner in which it is being done. Tell us if you believe that it is being done in an organized manner by experts like Mr. Kalapa just told us. Is it being done by experts? Is it organized?
I don't know who the experts are. As Ramachandran pointed out, there is undoubtedly no reason why Rajakaluve should not be cleared. If you have to really maintain Bangalore clean, that needs to be done. But the question is the way it is being done. That's the question that is being raised now. So I don't think any person with common sense or little civic sense will disagree that Rajakaluves need to be cleared. The question is also there is lack of policy. Okay. We have a lake development authority, and lake is not just a water body surrounded by a constructed brick wall or a stone masonry. It is also a wetland where during monsoon it acts like a sponge attracting water, and summer it's dry. For example, the Karnataka Golf Association is a wetland.
So, Dr. Sharat Chandra, you agree that it's being done in a haphazard manner, there isn't enough organization
here? Of course, there is no doubt about that.
YP Singh, here's what I want to understand from you.
Madam, it is not only done in an haphazard way, it is done unnecessarily in an urgent way. Because whatever flooding happened in BTM layout is almost 40-50 kilometers away from where the demolition now is taking place. They could have called officers, taken action against them, planned it systematically, given them compensation if it is a mistake of a commissioner or a BBMP engineer or a BDA engineer. And most of the areas that are now going for demolition were not even in BBMP, just when all these houses were built. They were built when they were small municipalities which were merged as Brahat Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. They have entered into Bangalore after that. But if you make a plan completely, if you declared that these are the Rajakaluves, these are the rainwater stormwater drains, and this water has to have a free way to reach a lake. If you make this, then make people understand. I have heard even in yesterday's demolition, people at Vidaranipura and Arkere said that yes, we are ready for a demolition, we are aware.
Give us time, give us notice.
You must give us time, and don't do it discriminating. You have broken some houses 10 feet, some 20 feet, and it doesn't look like a straight gutter at all, even for rainwater drain today. It is just haphazard like a snake. How can this
Fair enough. I want to bring in YP Singh here. Mr. Singh, I want to ask you this as a lawyer and as an activist. For people right now who are terrified, who've seen red markings on their walls, who know that the bulldozer is going to be in front of their homes, if not tomorrow, maybe the day after that, they haven't been given notice. We've heard all of the stories. Homes that have been there for 40 years, homes that have paid property tax to the BBMP for 40 years. They have electricity connections. They have all of their bona fide papers. What should they do legally? What is available to them? Is this then by the letter of law considered an illegal demolition? Is it legal? What's available to me as a legal recourse as a citizen?
The first step they have to do is to identify and crystallize what are the specific illegalities being done by the statutory authorities. To my mind, the first illegality is that the job of a municipal corporation is not there to remove encroachment, that is there to raise illegal construction. If a landowner, which is the revenue department, if they have problems with respect to encroachment, they have powers under the Land Revenue Code to effect the demolition. So Karnataka Land Revenue Code is not being invoked. Instead, the Bangalore Municipal Corporation is being brought in, which is not the authority to remove encroachments. They are there only to remove such construction which is not in accordance with the approved plans. Number two, all these things are always marked in the development plans. If there is an application made in with any authority, the authority has to verify time and again very intensively where is the drain, whether it's a public thing, whether there's a road, what are the setbacks, all these things are examined by the statutory authorities. They have not done so. Thirdly, this seems to be a tolerated structure because there are thousands and thousands of structures in every area which have been there for substantial period of time, and if construction has been there for 40 years, it has to be reckoned as a tolerated structure. Now, if a tolerated structure is required to be removed, then the procedure established by law has to be invoked because Article 300A of the Constitution of India says if somebody's property is being deprived, then it has to be done in accordance with the law. So, if a tolerated structure is to be removed, in that case, this is for public interest. If it's for public interest, it's the government which has to pay compensation to all the people. So, there are lots and lots of intricate points. And lastly, which you have been also saying, everybody has a right to have a equal implementation of the law. Here people are suffering because there is no builder. Had there been a builder who was to manipulate the project, no, such action would not have happened. Now, in big colonies, in big layouts, shopping malls, etc., there's always
Singh,
a
what can the citizens do at this point? Should they be approaching the High Court?
By reason of his extraneous considerations.
Should we approach the High Court?
Yes, certainly. Now, number one, they should clearly say, yes, no, they have to approach the either the High Court or the local courts, because there will be revenue courts, because the job to remove revenue land, that is the government land encroachment, is with the revenue department. How municipal corporation is concerned with it? Tomorrow if a private person says, look, some builder says, look, my land is being encroached by some of my adversary, will the municipal corporation go and remove the encroachment from a private builder's land? No. Just as a private builder is the owner of the land, similarly revenue department is the owner of the revenue land. It is the revenue department which has to remove it. How municipal corporation is coming into the picture? This is number one illegality. Number two, it's a tolerated structure. They have been there for 40 years. They cannot be removed so abruptly unless until the procedure established by law is followed. And if something is very, very expedient, in that eventuality, they can certainly seek a compensation for that. There has to be a compensation fee. And wetland and all they are talking, wetland rules have come in 2010, which prohibits construction on wetland.
Can they seek a stay from the High Court, YP Singh?
Even a construction on wetland was illegal. So,
can they seek a stay from the High Court? Stay on demolition from the High Court?
From the competent court. Yes, it has to be the competent court. It could be the civil court which is locally, or if it's something where a statutory action is there, they can go to the High Court.
All right, so citizens' body can and should go to the High Court according to YP Singh unless this is not the right agency of the government to be demolishing these buildings, and if they're tolerated buildings, which they are, we've heard that people have been paying tax on these buildings for the last 40 years. There should be compensation in the very least, and there should be a notice that is handed out. I also want to talk to the... Yes, go ahead.
I would like to add one point.
Yes.
If there is a sanction of an engineer or of an assistant or joint commissioner on your plan, it is the sanction of the government itself.
Yes.
You cannot say that it has been done by taking bribe. Government has done. Whether he has taken bribe or not, it is the headache of the government. But when a person gets his plan, he is entitled to get his compensation because government has sanctioned it. The signature of the engineer or the commissioner is the signature of the government itself.
Right.
And in charge of Bangalore is Chief Minister Sri Siddaramaiah himself has ordered all this, which means that this is government working against its own orders. It should give compensation at least.
Yes. You know, Brijesh Kalapa, my point to you is simply limited to this, that these citizens are being made to feel like criminals. They're not criminals. They're people who've paid their taxes on time. They're people who've got Kata certificates. They've got all of their paperwork in place. They're not criminals. They should be treated with more benefit of doubt, including the family of the martyr that we're referring to, even if it's just a pillar. I refuse to believe that this was done fully knowing that it's illegal and they went ahead and did it anyway. These people who build illegal structures don't pay taxes. People who build illegal structures don't have salaried jobs. I think that at this point, the mistake that the government is making is that they're not treating these citizens like victims of a system that was corrupt, which is what the truth is, isn't it?
No, I am telling you repeatedly that this is something which is deeply distasteful. This is something we don't like to do. This is a doing of the previous regime, that is Mr. Vamnacharya's regime, because the BBMP got possession of these lands in 2007 when Mr. Vamnacharya's government was there. Now it's like the cat having eaten the fish, which is now pointing at other people and saying, look, they have to do this, they have to do this, and they have to do another thing. I just pointed out that the councillor is a BJP person, MLA is a BJP man, the BJP MP is there, and now they are the fat cats who have eaten the cream of every transaction, and now they want to blame the Congress party and say, look, these are the loopholes, these are the difficulties, these are the failures. Now this is typically of the BJP. Now this is Mr. Vamnacharya is doing exactly the same thing by blaming us for everything, while it's their own party members who have benefited from this entire transaction. Each one of these violations is primarily because of the local councillor, MLA or the MP.
It's an appalling state of affairs. I want to bring in Sridhar Pavishetty here.
Yeah,
Sridhar, representing the citizens. 1 second. Brijesh Kalapa, 1 second. I want to hear the citizens right now. Sridhar, on one hand, citizens are being made to feel like criminals, like they have built illegal structures that deserve to be torn down without notice, without any benefit of doubt. They are not being given the opportunity to approach the courts. I think it makes sense right now for Bangalore's citizen groups to go out perhaps and approach the courts as a collective to bring a stop or a stay order to these demolitions altogether until at least the government can come up with a clearer plan. But how does it make you feel to hear these answers right now?
I think it's a little disappointing to kind of see an incoherent response from the government. The first thing they should have done is to clearly put out the information in the public domain and say, here are the Rajakaluves. There have been multiple instances where Rajakaluves have been moved left or right just for the convenience of the local politics. Unfortunately, both the spokesperson of the parties seem to not know that the MLA of Dodbamsandra is Mr. Krishna Bairagoda, who is from the Congress party. They have been saying that it's from the BJP. I don't know why they get their facts so wrong. And also, the Orion Mall is just 10 kilometers away from where this demolition is happening. I don't know why Mr. Bansi Kalappa is not making little more effort to get his facts right. It's more important for us to know that the big sharks are merely outside of this demolition. I don't know why after even 5th day of demolition that's happening today, not even one single big builder has been touched. It's also very important for us to know that the big sharks are also benefited by the most ineffective legal cell in the government department called the BBMP legal cell. Not only stays run for many years, like the 20-30 years that Mr. Brijesh was saying, it's very important for us to understand that some of the demolitions are whole homes of people. Even if you are required to demolish a home that is sitting on a Rajakaluve, what's most important, which is done in most civilized governments across the world, is to include a rehabilitation program, at least while these demolitions are being done. That's the least human way of trying to set right, where your own officers have been extremely irresponsible in giving multiple permissions. Now, coming to the maps of the Rajakaluves, right?
Sridhar, I want to come back to the fact, and I want to bring in YP Singh here as well. The fact that these people are not criminals, the fact that they are victims, and somehow the government has failed to make that distinction. YP Singh, if these people are victims of a corrupt system, they have bought homes that were placed on wrong land, that were cleared by perhaps corrupt officials, maybe by corrupt builders. Do they not deserve compensation? The ones who've lost their homes, who will give them compensation? How do they gain that compensation legally?
I think they deserve compensation. Yes. Now, they deserve compensation on 2 counts. Number one, if a builder has given the plot and that plot has been developed, the layout has been developed, which is not in accordance with the law and has been approved by the statutory authorities by violating the law through the mechanism of connivance, in that eventuality, the structure has to go because an illegality, it cannot be perpetuated. But the people can seek a compensation, civil compensation from the builder, as well as they can file criminal cases against the builder.
In most of these cases, the plot of land has been cut up by the Bangalore Development Authority, which is a government agency.
Yes.
This land has come from a government agency.
Yes. Now there is a concept of sovereign. Yes. Earlier, there used to be a concept of sovereign immunity coming out from the concept king can do no wrong. But Supreme Court in several rulings has said now this concept is no longer applicable. If the government, corrupt government officers representing the government, representing the state of Karnataka have approved certain projects, certain layouts, and if that layout is found to be illegal and if demolition is to be affected, then if the builder does not pay, Karnataka government will have to compensate these people. This is required under the law. And thirdly, even if the plans are not approved, they are tolerated structure.
Yes.
In that eventuality also, compensation has to be given.
Dr. T.V. Ramchandra, these people are victims. They are not criminals. Should they receive compensation from the Karnataka government? Should the government treat them with more care?
Well, what I had suggested in one of the meetings is to make this the information available to the public, and also at the same time give the chance to the public so that voluntarily they can come out and they can declare themselves, so that it becomes much easier, so that this kind of anomalies can be avoided. Now, see, the Bangalore has a distinction of having the self-assessment scheme for the property tax, a very successful thing. Similar thing could have been done here also. In that regard, see, GIS technology could have been used efficiently. For that matter, the Karnataka is the distinction of having a mature technology. We also have all the data which are compared to other cities in India. So we should just put that on the net and make that available to the public.
Make the information available, allow people to come forward and help the government manage the situation. Sharat Chandra, Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan, who is the martyr that all of the media is talking about, his family said, give us time. If you want the pillar knocked down, we will do it ourselves, because the room that pillar supports was the Lieutenant Colonel's personal room. They wanted to be able to save his belongings and to save that room in any way they could. His mother has spoken to our channel. She has said, if the government wants that one pillar gone, we will do it ourselves. Just give us time. Now, this is not the voice of a criminal. This is not the voice of someone who's willfully put up an illegal structure. Dr. Sharat Chandra, don't these people deserve compensation? Martyr, no martyr, defense, no defense, all citizens alike. Don't they deserve compensation?
Yes. I have no confusion in my mind that all these fellows are not encroachers, because once instrumentality of the state has given permission, then the state owns up that responsibility, number one. So once the state has given and the instrumentalities of state have given permission, then all the illegalities are legal because government has approved. And because how do, as a citizen, I know if I buy a plot from a BDA allottee, I know it is illegal. As a kid, I remember that government will not do something wrong if it is illegal. But now I have my doubt whether it's the government which is doing a lot of illegal things.
That's a fair point,
If a BDA,
Brijesh,
which is a instrumentality of the state, has developed layouts, allotted sites, how can that be illegal?
How can that be illegal? If I have all of my papers, I've made all of my payments, how can that be illegal? Sridhar, you wanted to come in before I finally take the entire discussion back to Brijesh Kalapa. Sridhar?
It's important for us to know that this has been a systematic corruption that's happened in the systematic nexus and corruption that has happened between big builders and the bureaucrats. It's impossible to believe that 1,900 encroachments happened just because of 20 officials. Who are the officials who are responsible for these encroachments are far easier to get for the government departments than identifying the encroached buildings. So it's important for us to find out what is the systematic plan that they'll go behind the officials. Secondly, people who are repeated offenders of the builder, who are from the building community, why is not even one big building brought down till now? There have been hundreds of structures brought down, but why not single biggest building that's been brought down? Thirdly, what is a systematic way in which you're going to punish the builders in a much significant way as compared to these people?
Absolutely.
Many times builders come and sell off the units and run away, and then the people, gullible customers, are left with bad buildings.
All right, Brijesh Kalapa, here are my questions to you now that we've heard everybody speak. I'm going to come back.
1 minute before
Mr. Vamanacharya, very quickly. Mr. Vamanacharya, very quickly. Yes.
Yeah, see, you were telling about these people are not criminals. But there are criminals called developers and the government officials. They have made so much of money. Each engineer is having at least 4 to 5
But that is
buildings
a job
with
for the
him.
court of law,
And here-
Mr. Vamanacharya. That is a job for the court of law, not the BBMP to decide who is a criminal and who is not a criminal. That's why we have
No,
courts.
they
in
are
this
the
country.
people. They are known criminals and they have so much of property. You can attach it and compensate these poor fellows who have lost their houses.
All right, fair
These
enough.
are the
fair
people,
enough.
developers and
Brijesh
government
Kalapa,
officers.
we live in
That
the
is the
city
best
of
way.
Bangalore is at the forefront of IT and information development in the world. We do not understand why the BBMP cannot make its plans public, cannot allow us all to see which are the structures that are illegal and which are not. Because if you do allow us to see, then even if you've started here, we will be able to tell which are the big fish that will have their constructions knocked down. If we know which are the big fish that will have their constructions knocked down, I guarantee you, I will personally track it to make sure that none of them get away. But somehow, the BBMP has not made that map public. How long does it take if you have a map, that's something that you're working with, in such a drastic manner? How long does it take to put it up on the website? Why is that map not public? Why can't we know which are the big fish, which are the small fish, who's in the way of the drain?
More important than giving a map out, Faye, I think is letting the person who is going to be affected, letting him know or her know that, look, this portion of your property has been marked. And like I have already said, and I'm repeating for the third time, that 6 months ago this exercise has been undertaken.
None of the
and
citizens who
these
spoke,
areas
Brijesh
which were
Kalapa,
supposed to
have
been
accepted
broken
that to
down
us. They've all said that they found out last minute.
No, I'm not going to speak about one citizen. I'm not going to speak about one citizen, Faye. I'm telling you largely. Largely, I'm telling you that
Kalapa,
this
why
exercise
can't the map
has
be
been
made
undertaken.
public is my question. Why can't the
as
map
a
be made
journalist,
public?
you're welcome not to believe me. No. So how are we to make sure that the map is going to be seen by everybody? The point is, if you are going to tell the end user,
if you put it up in
or the
Bangalore
person who's going
online,
to lose
everybody will
something,
see it.
that,
We will
look,
put it up
this
on
is
the
what,
channel.
This is what we intend to do.
Put it up online. We will put it up. We will make sure that
I
everybody
don't know
gets a copy.
if everybody is online in Bangalore. No, I don't know if you have that kind of reach.
Copy.
The point is,
Put a
if you are
hard
going to
copy.
have
There is
reach
nothing
the
wrong
last
putting a
person,
big map.
if you are going to reach the last person,
I just want.
no, but
Brijesh, it's not about.
I
it's
want
not
to
about
say
putting
something.
online or offline. It's
Listen,
about being available in all
Brijesh
the government
Kalapa,
offices.
if
Even
you
your
reach
own
20
field
people,
revenue
it's better
officers
than
don't
what
have
we're
them.
doing right now, because right now nobody has that information. Dr. Ramchandra doesn't have that information. He would be happy to have that information. He's a researcher. He'd be able to use it for research. My next question to you is, Brijesh Kalapa, can you not tell the difference between legal, illegal, and should the people who have paid their property tax, who have all of their papers, shouldn't they receive compensation?
no, I'm not. I'm not the authority to decide that. There will be a court of law, because eventually all these matters will reach a court of law. Neither Mr. YP Singh will decide if these are legal issues and compensation ought to be paid, nor am I going to decide that.
But shouldn't there have been a court of law before buildings started to crumble down?
Like it or
Brijesh
not,
Kalapa, there's a
one
court
or the
of
other
law.
person is.
Shouldn't we have approached the courts before we started knocking people's homes down? If you're saying that compensation, no compensation is a decision for the courts, then
there is a,
knock it down, don't knock it down should also be a decision for the courts. This is people's homes we're talking about. We're not talking about a go down. We're not talking about a factory. We're talking about someone's home with all of their belongings in it. Why is it when it comes to compensation, we're talking about the courts of law?
There is a.
There are hardly 1,000
There is a KMC Act, Faye.
Can you not give a map to 1,000
under
people
Section 288,
in Bangalore?
Under 288A and D of the Act. Under 288A and D of the Act, where there are extraneous circumstances, where there is an emergency situation, then the BBMP has to act. There is a duty on the BBMP to act. Now, for instance, there is a main road and somebody thinks that, look, I have a private right to construct a house right on the main road. Then supposing he starts building, we can't give him a notice and wait for 15 days.
Supposing he starts building, he builds 40 years later, you've collected property tax from him for 40 years, and now 40 years later you decide it's an emergency situation. These are not constructions that came about yesterday, Brijesh Kalapa. They've been around for decades. They've been paying property tax for decades. The BBMP has collected property tax for decades. It's not an emergency situation. You could have given these people another week.
No, we don't know. I'm not speaking of individual cases, Faye. I'm speaking generally. I don't know about the individual cases. I don't know if there are cases of 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, 10 years or 2 years. I don't know about these cases. I am speaking generally.
Okay, I have to interrupt you. Unfortunately, Brijesh Kalapa, we've run out of time on this show.
Supposing there is something.
I have to close the debate. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but we're going to continue to keep an eye on this. We're demanding two things. One is that the BBMP makes the map that it's using for the demolition public to all of us so we can see who's coming next, whether it's a big fish or it continues to be small fish. There's nothing wrong with sharing that information. Secondly, people who've been paying their taxes and have all of their papers in place deserve compensation. And they should get compensation. If that is a judgment that needs to come from the courts, then we will encourage people to go to the courts and actually seek that judgment. That's a wrap on the urban debate, but the conversation continues. My personal contact details are on your screen. Please get in touch.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.